Mobility is actually an evolution, right? It's a technological evolution. We went from mainframes to PCs. We had the very same set of challenges and problems when we migrated to distributed computing. Sometimes I think we kind of lose focus on what we're trying to solve for because we're all so excited about the fact that we got this great device that can do everything, right? So that's why, in my mind, I think evolving it into a strategy around enabling a particular business problem, and for me at United it's more around better enabling the customer journey in a connected state as part of a connected aircraft strategy. That's the value that mobility brings to the table. And so I think sometimes we get lost in translation. We're so fixated on the technology that we kind of forget what we're really solving for.
On that platform, in that experience, what do we expect the client to be doing? So on the phone, are they likely to be going on to check their investment performance for the last year? Or are they more likely to be going on to pay a bill or see how much money do I actually have in my account? Was that deposit actually, what functions are they actually looking to do? And so if their function is like, I want to do these particular things, optimizing the heck out of those for the device. Now, we don't necessarily want to stop them from seeing their balances of their securities and stuff like that, but maybe that's just good enough to do HTML5. Maybe we don't have to build an optimized, super, really awesome experience with cool transitions and pretty graphs and everything like that.
It used to be real easy where you could, if it was browser-based, you would say we support IE, maybe Firefox or whatever, and then that's it. And we've had to, that's been a challenge for us, is building out that matrix of saying, okay, now we support these devices, these versions, these Android devices, these iOS devices, these browsers, if it's, HTML5 based or whatever, and we just try to, and it's almost, it could almost be someone's full-time job to just stay current on that stuff.
So HTML5 is a huge set of capabilities when it comes to display in the customer experience, but majority of your customers don't have the S6, right? Majority of customers don't have the iPhone 6.
Right.
They have low-end Android devices that, to be honest, struggle to render HTML5 in some cases. So if you want, if you want really cool, graphical and transition and a really slick user experience for a certain function, your choice is always going to be native. That doesn't mean the rest of the app is an HTML5, right? Or that you don't have HTML5 on the web.
Biggest concerns is that we want to be our preferred brewer for our distributors. So our distributors are allowed to carry beer from all of our competitors, for example. And one of the things of doing that means being able to allow them to interface with us on any kind of device that they want, because it's just easier for them to order our products that way, which means that it's then easier for them to push them to retailers, which increases our sales.
So, even those core capabilities, right, eventually HTML5 will get there, but you always have to keep an eye on the past, because that long tail, right, is going to be the majority of your customers. So if you come to me from your house, I can give you digital PDF, I can give you the HTML, however I want to, but if you're in the actual store, I have to hand you a piece of paper with the terms and conditions. So that, that was one of the areas where we've struggled with the sort of current law, and we've come to an implementation that we don't think is actually best for the customer. I actually believe that having PDF terms, and we deliver them via email, so you always have them, is probably better for the customer than handing them a piece of paper on Black Friday when they're going to go and now they're going to shop, and now I have this packet of terms and conditions. So, it's working in the banking space. And
It's an evolutionary process, right? So regulatory bodies don't necessarily keep up with the technology advancements, correct? And we have the same problems with FAA approving some of this new technology and capability on board our aircraft, right? And recently, if you know, remember you always had to turn all your cell phones and devices off during takeoff and landing, and now they allow you to keep your devices in airplane mode, but you have to turn your larger devices off, etc. So it's an evolving process, and unfortunately, I think our regulatory bodies are not, it just takes them a little bit longer to get there.